that just tells you the type of competitors and players that those two are, and what they're able to do on the floor and as leaders for this team has been, unmatched in a lot of ways. I mean, to have two players accomplish the same thing in the same year is pretty awesome.
Now, getting ready for a couple games this weekend against Western, you've had a full week to prepare. Coming off your first conference loss on Sunday, what have been your points of emphasis on things your teams need to improve on?
Well, it's really unfortunate that we lost that game on Sunday because when you go back and watch the film, we actually played pretty well. We didn't defend as well as we could have. Obviously, we definitely missed the presence of Emma Matson and Justice Wilkinson. We take two kids out of your rotation that play good minutes for you, and especially in back-to-back scenario, that really hurt us, and definitely in the defensive end to be able to get some legs rested. But everybody's going through this. There's no excuses for an inability to get that done. But I think this is just such a different game when you look at University of Providence and ourselves. We're pretty evenly matched and pretty comparable in programs. I think from the point guards down to the centers, and you look at something like Western is such a different team. I mean, I don't know that our styles could be more contrasting. Besides the fact we both like to play fast, we're just built differently. They're a smaller team. They're all over. They're shooting a lot of threes. They're pushing the tempo. They're pressing, and we probably have one of the biggest teams in the league. So it's going to be kind of a clash of two different styles of teams.
And the Western team, you just mentioned that you're playing this week, and obviously Paige Holmes is kind of started as a train for them. You mentioned they have a very fast style of play. I mean, are you guys going to try and slow down the tempo at all, or are you just going to play your game? I mean, what's the counter part on them, and how do you plan on reacting to that?
Well, I think that it's tough to slow down a team that plays like that. I mean, we're going to do our best to try to get them in half court. We want to limit the amount of threes they get in transition. But the biggest thing against Western is that we have to carry the basketball. They get over 30 points a game for points off turnovers, and that's a big, big factor for them. And so if we can take care of the basketball, that limits a lot of their fast break points. That limits 30% of their scoring. So we really want to make sure that we focus on ourselves, take care of the basketball, getting back in transition defense, and then, knowing that they are going to take a lot of threes, we have got to stay attached on our process. We can't be running to the hoop and the shots taken, let that they go over our head and give them second and third opportunity. So, and also we have to take advantage of our strengths. We have to be able to get the ball in the paint and rebound on the offensive end and not just sit out on the perimeter and shoot threes because they will be so in a majority of the time.
Well, Coach, that's all I got for you. Best of luck this weekend, and Coach, and I will see you after the game.
Sounds great. Thanks, Daniel.
Coach Michelle Sayre, showing the Marcus Furniture. Coach on the more game on the way here on 194.9 and KCAP.com.
You need it, A1 Rentals.
Got the project? It's out at A1 Rentals. They've got what you need. Sheet rock, protection sheet, floor sanders, grinders and polishers for wood and concrete floors, heaters, electric propane, carpet cleaners too. Located at 1400 Cedar, next up, Party Plus.
When you need it, A1 Rentals. Young winter, you're not scared of you because almost nothing can stand in the way of a new 2021 Toyota. When you say stay home under a blanket, the Camry all-wheel drive comes out to play. The 2021 Corolla is hotter than ever with tons of tech to keep you plugged in to your favorite apps, music, and more. Snowy hills don't stand a chance, and so RAV4's available all-wheel drive with multi-terrain select. And with over 200 horses under the hood, the RAV4 does the toughest storms. Grab the family, hop in the Highlander, and go build a snowman. Needs to be this easy. See you in the snow. Toyota. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
This is John Auger, Century 21. Sometimes religion can make you feel like it's wrong to be blessed and have resources, so it gives our Heavenly Father pleasure to see you blessed. You may not see how it happened, but that's not your job. Your job is to believe. You're refused to live a bad life. Scripture says that God will supply all our needs according to his riches. It doesn't say according to your talent, your education, or if your boss likes you, if the economy's good, or if there's a pandemic. It's not according to what you have, it's according to what he has. Good news is, God owns it all. He doesn't have what you need, he can't create it.
This is Saints Game Day, driven by Classic Motors on Rewind 94.9 and KCAP.com.
Daniel Sally back here from the PE Center on Saints Game Day here inside the Brad Schmidt Allstate Insurance broadcast booth, joined by the Hall of Famer Gary Turcotte to bring you Carroll College basketball here on Rewind 94.9 and KCAP.com. Also, special thanks to those of you tuning in on Dillon on 1490 KDBM. Also, apologies to anyone on the YouTube channel right now having some technical difficulties with the sound feedback. We're working on it, so we'll try and get that fixed for you as soon as possible. But looking ahead to tonight's game, Gary, as we look at these two teams, I mean, if you're the Saints, you look at this team opposite you that plays such a different style of basketball, and I think you still go about your business like it's any other game. I mean, you might have to make some different adjustments based on what they do, but if you're Carroll, I think you just got to come in and just focus on controlling the tempo tonight.
Well, you do, but I just think the big thing offensively is to handle the press. And I don't think they have played a team that has really pressed anything like what Western does, anywhere near as effective. I mean, half of Western's offense comes off their turnovers. That's just how effective they are with the press. They have got really aggressive guards who can really move their feet, great anticipation. So offensively, Carroll's got to handle the press, and defensively, Carroll's got to keep the ball in front of them, get back on defense. The dribble drive offense, the pinch post stuff that Western does, it's very solid. They're very well coached, and there's a reason why they're good every year.
Yes, and this is, I talked about last weekend with the guys playing at Providence, how that's kind of become a big rivalry in this conference. Well, the Carroll Western women's basketball rivalry has pretty much been going strong over the last decade. I mean, you look at the last 5 years or so, and these are the two teams who have been in the mix late in the season. Obviously, Western won the national championship back in 2019, but you got to remember that same year, Carroll beat them in the conference tournament championship game. So these two teams have gone to war the last few years. In Dillon.
Carroll won that game in Dillon in front of a packed house. They had to turn people away. I've never seen a bigger crowd at Dillon, and Carroll beat them, and 2 weeks later, Western was the national champs.
So the bottom line here is that these two teams, they probably don't like each other much, and Coach Sayers and Coach Woolley are two very good coaches. So I think we're bound to see a very competitive game tonight, and two, a chess match between these two head coaches.
Yeah, it always is. Both of these coaches have their system in. They know what kind of girls they want to recruit. They know what kind of stuff they want to run, and it'll just be fun. It's just great to be back at the Carroll PE Center. I can tell you that.
Coach Turcotte, let me tell you, for the sake of my vocal cords, I'm glad to have you back.
Good.
And I'm happy that we get to do this game together.
Yep.
With all the fans who aren't able to make it tonight, given the restrictions, we appreciate you all tuning in, whether it be online or on the radio, and even the people in Dillon. We appreciate all our listeners, so thanks again. And we're going to go ahead and cut it to break one more time for 2.5 minutes. But when we come back, we'll have tip-off here from the PE Center. You're listening to Carroll College Basketball on Rewind 94.9, KCAP.com, and 1490 KDBM Dillon.
Hello out there in Radio Land. This is Devin from the Golden Eye Casino.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the PE Center on the campus of Carroll College for tonight's game between the visiting Bulldogs of Montana Western and your Carroll College Fighting Saints. You please stand or move your hats for the pregame prayer.
Available all-wheel drive and four-wheel. Toyota will get you everywhere you need to be this season. See you in the snow. Toyota. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
It's a classic showdown. Buck Street and first is repair. This fight. Like that comes out. Oiling and lubricating. Getting it. That leaves repair in a tough position. With everything in working order. Repair can't do much damage. Oh, and here comes maintenance with his regular schedule. And maintenance to repair with a knockout.
Regularly schedule your maintenance with DJs. Here for you and your wheels.
It's that time again. A new year. A new you. The good night's sleep is the foundation of a healthier you in 2021. Come find out why Mattress Firm is your place for the best prices and selection on famous brands like Seaweed, Stearns & Foster, and the world famous Suckery. It's time to end your days by getting a great night's sleep. Guaranteed lowest prices and a 365-day cover guarantee is why Mattress Firm is your place to start the new year out.
Get a great night's sleep.
On the rink, on the lake, Play-It Sports can upgrade your skiing season. If your hockey gear doesn't fit for your different, Play-It Sports has the latest and greatest in hockey gear, and they're the only offer for CCI and our dealers in Helena. If you're working your way up to spin or an axle in the figure skating arena, Play-It Sports has smooth skate to fit your demand. Your also do stay sharp. When you step on the ice, nothing else matters. Get ready to Play-It Sports, your skating headquarters. Next to Fantasy for Pizza.
You're listening to Saints Basketball. Basketball is next on Rewind 94.9, your home for the Saints.
Back from the break, Daniel Sally here, joined by Gary Turcotte, bringing you Carroll College basketball here on Rewind 94.9, KCAP.com, and 1490 KDBM Dillon. As we get ready to take a look at tonight's starting lineup, we'll start with the University of Montana Western here. Tip-off just a couple minutes away. Starting at forward, number 3, a junior from Dillon, Montana, by way of Montana State, Brinley Fitzgerald. Also out there at guard, a redshirt senior out of Seeley Lake, Montana, Paige Holmes. Playing guard, number 12, a sophomore out of Three Forks, Montana, Shani Mack. And also at guard, notice the 4-guard lineup, but looking at this guard out of Helena Capital High School, got to cover her senior year at high school playing for the Bruins, that's Sydney Sheraton. And rounding it out in the front court, number 42, a junior out of Big Timber, Montana, that's Mesa King. And looking at the starting lineup for the Saints, starting at forward, a 5'9 senior out of, or guard, out of Havre, Montana, number 4, Danny Wagner. Starting at forward, a 5'9 senior out of Fairfield, Washington, that's number 10, Christine Denny. Playing in the backcourt, a junior out of Clancy, Montana, the Helena High product by way of Montana State University, number 22, Camden Hilborn. Playing guard, a 5'9 junior out of 9 Mile Falls, Washington, number 23, Sienna Swanek. And rounding it out for the Saints, a 6'2 sophomore forward out of Helena High by way of the University of Montana, number 42, Jamie Pickens. And Coach Turcotte, just looking at this, you got Sydney Sheridan playing for Western, you got Camden Hilborn, Jamie Pickens. You got a lot of local talent in this game. That's always good to see.
That is. These girls go way back. They probably played AAU ball together. Interesting, Carroll does a little light show just while they do the introduction of the players. And it's not spectacular, but it's kind of neat. Western, Coach Woolley took his team into the locker room so they wouldn't have to witness the light show.
That's just tucked over in the corner
a
there.
little mental game going on there, just started before the tip-off.
Yeah, maybe giving them a slight advantage. Who knows? If it's not broken, don't fix it if you're Coach Woolley. So, gotta trust what he's doing with this program. Well, both teams are getting ready to take the floor. Western will be in their road black uniforms, red numbers, white trim, and Carroll will be wearing their gray uniforms, purple numbers with gold trim on those. As the starters for each team take the floor, doing the tip-off, I imagine, will be Jamie Pickens going toe-to-toe with Mesa King. But Coach Turcotte, we got to be thankful here. This is a great matchup we get to watch tonight.
Yeah, it is. It's just, women's basketball has come so far. These girls are so dedicated, and they're really serious about basketball. They want their education, but they're here to play ball.
All right, here's the tip-off, and the Saints can bring it down. It's Jamie Pickens winning that tip. Christine Denny will get it over to Camden Hilborn, who will lead the charge up the floor for the Saints. Saints going right to left across your radio dial as Pickens drives in, loses control, and it's stolen by Paige Holmes. Down to the other end, here come the Bulldogs. Holmes over to the wing. It's Sydney Sheridan near side. Up top, she goes to Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald guarded by Wagner at the top of the key, and Holmes bobbles it on the pass. It's stolen by Christine Denny. Here comes Denny up the floor. Wagner with it now. Back to Hilborn. Hilborn, top of the key. Shot clock down to 15 seconds for the Saints. Pickens kicks it out to Hilborn. Hilborn's three, and she buries it. Camden Hilborn gets the Saints started tonight with a big three. It's 3-0 here at the 9:10 mark in the first quarter. It's Montana Western basketball as King has it on the elbow. She tries to drive on Pickens, and a blocking foul is called on Jamie Pickens.
Yeah, if that's the way they're going to call it, it's going to be tight. That was very, very, very little for that first foul to be called.
Sydney Sheridan inbounding from the baseline as the Bulldogs swing it around up top. With it is Sheridan once again, gets the screen from King, kicks it out to Holmes. Paige Holmes, a familiar face for Saints and Bulldogs fans who have watched this rivalry, as the ball is stolen by Sienna Swanek. Swanek pushes it up to the other end, passes it off to Denny. Denny back outside to Pickens. Now Swanek again. Corner three from Wagner. Got it! The Saints are hitting from deep early tonight. 6-0. Carroll takes the lead. 8:34 left here in the first quarter. Sydney Sheridan gets it up to the other end. Passes it to the wing. It's Paige Holmes. The ball moving by the Bulldogs. They get it to King on the elbow. She kicks it back out to Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald switched on to Pickens. She drives up the left side of the key. Nice contest there by Christine Denny on the layup, and it's rebounded by Pickens. Shot no good for the Bulldogs. The Saints will get it back. They lead 6-0. Hilborn goes to the corner at Swanek. Lob pass inside to Denny. Denny pulls it back out. Swing it up to Wagner. Wagner top of the key over to Hilborn. Shot clock under 15 now for the Saints. Camden Hilborn. Near side, it's Danny Wagner. Wagner back to Swanek now. Swanek to Wagner. Wagner inside to Denny. Off the glass and in for two. Great ball movement by the Saints there to set up Christine Denny for a bucket.
And Western's in their 1-1-3 zone, and so far Carroll has been able to solve it. Three pretty quality shots.
7:35 left here in the first quarter in the PE Center. Mesa King passed it out to Brindley Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald to the near side. It's Holmes. Holmes drives by Wagner, puts it up off the glass and in for two. Paige Holmes gets the Bulldogs scoring started, stops the bleeding on an 8-0 run for the Saints. It's now 8-2, 7:18 left in the first quarter. Here comes Camden Hilborn. Sydney Sheridan in the press tries to get that ball out, but she's called for a foul.
Now that time Carroll, against the press, just cleared out and let Camden try to dribble it up, and Western reacted and double-teamed the ball. So I think this Western zone press, they adjust very well.
Camden Hilborn will take it up again for the Saints. She passes it to the far side. Swanek over to the corner. Now it's Wagner. Wagner back over to Hilborn, top of the key. Hilborn drives, dumps it off to Denny. Denny on the baseline. Runs into a double team. She dribbles it back out to Hilborn. Hilborn, now Wagner. Wagner takes the dribble, looks inside for Denny. Her pass is tipped out of bounds. Last touch by the Saints, and that will be Bulldog basketball. 6:52 left here in the first quarter, and Western will keep possession. Sydney Sheridan running the point and calling the play out for the Bulldogs. She takes it up, passes it off to Mack. Now Holmes, far side on the wing, gets it to the top of the key. Mesa King with it. King looks to pass it in. It hits off the foot of Jamie Pickens. That'll be a kick ball. Inbounding will be the Bulldogs. Sydney Sheridan from the baseline will call the inbounds play. Sheridan passes it up top to King. King swings it over to Fitzgerald now. Back to Sheridan. Sheridan guarded by Swanek. Looks to pass it to Mack. It's stolen by Danny Wagner. Here comes Wagner up the court for the Saints in transition. Wagner takes it herself, puts it up with her left, and the foul. Danny Wagner with a chance for a three-point play here. She'll step to the free throw line.
That was a tough finish. That was a tough finish for Danny. Just showed you just how tough she is. I mean, it takes a lot of strength. She really got fouled a long ways away from the basket, and it kept her body under control and was able to finish that shot.
I'm expecting a big game from Danny Wagner here tonight. Sunday wasn't her best game, so you know how she is. She's a competitor.
Yep.
She's motivated, so I think she's going to come out tonight and give us a good showing. Already with 6 points, 3 from the corner and 3 there on that and one. Bulldog basketball. Here comes Holmes up the court. Holmes to the wing. It's Sheridan back to Holmes. Holmes top of the key on the drive. Puts it up under Pickens. Her shot is no good. Rebounded by Swanek. Here comes Swanek up the floor for the Saints. Swanek goes to Hilborn. Now Wagner again. Corner 3 from Wagner. Off the rim. It's no good. Rebound, though, by Sienna Swanek. Saints been great on the offensive glass so far this season. Here's Hilborn again. Hilborn on the drive. Kicks out to Denny. Back to Hilborn. Hilborn 3 from the wing. And that one is good. The Saints knocking them down from outside. 14-2. They lead with 5:41 here in the first quarter. Down to the other end, it's stolen by Hilborn. Entry pass looking for King. Hilborn got in the way. Hilborn to the other end, gets it over to Swanek. Now with it is Hilborn again. Hilborn kicks, Wagner. Corner 3, that one's no good off the rim. Rebound Mesa King, and Coach Woolley will call a timeout.
And Daniel, before we go to break here, it'd be interesting to see how long Coach Woolley stays in that zone. Carroll is getting really high quality shots.
Media timeout. We'll take a break for 60 seconds. You're listening to Carroll College Basketball on Rewind 94.9 and 1490 KDBM Dillon.
It's time to embrace your next big winter adventure. Whether it's hockey, snowshoeing, or downhill or cross-country skiing, Playing Sports is a place to start. Find tons brand name new and used winter sports gear at prices. Or jackets, gloves, hats, goggles, and all sizes. I'll bring your feet downhill and cross-country skis and boots, snowboards, skates, and snowshoes. Keep your winter and make it more fun. Get out there and play with help for Playing Sports. Wellness Winter Sports Headquarters. At Rare Beach.
You will be in the right place at the right time. This is hard. And do the opportunity costs just as much. It's almost home rate right now, but with the experience and guidance to help you make one of your biggest financial decisions. Just cash in all of this. You're with one of our lenders. You'll know you made the right choice. This had the experience, strong networks, and teamwork on your side. Matters. First Community Bank, FDIC Equal Housing Lenders.
Back from the break, Daniel Stallion, Gary Turcotte here inside the Brad Schmidt Allstate Insurance broadcast booth, bringing you Carroll College basketball. Tonight's Frontier Conference doubleheader between Western and the Saints, as Western takes it out of the timeout and gets it to the top of the key. Brinley Fitzgerald puts up the 3 and knocks it in. That's a 14-5, 9-point Saints lead with 4:57 left here in the first quarter. And Western comes right out in that press, and they force a steal immediately. Here comes Paige Holmes off the glass and in for 2. And just like that, back-to-back buckets out of the break for Coach Woolley's team. 14-7, Saints lead the Bulldogs. 4:41 left here in the first quarter. Camden Hilborn running point for Carroll. She passes it up top to Denny. Here's Denny on the drive, pulls it back, gets it up top to Wagner. Wagner now to Denny. Denny dribbles, kicks it out to Lyman. Lyman and Maddie Garrett's now in the game as Garrett's gets the entry pass. Garrett's off the glass from the block and good for 2. Maddie Garrett's continues her great play that we saw just last Sunday.
Jaden Lyman with a nice entry pass into the post there.
4:10 left here in the first quarter. 16-7, the Saints lead. Mesa King posting up, loses the ball, tipped out of bounds. Last touched off the hand of Christine Denny.
Good help side defense by Christine there, Daniel, to get over there and stop that. Looked like she had a layup.
4:03 on the clock here in the first quarter, excuse me. I kept making that mistake last weekend too. Paige Holmes, top of the key, guarded by Wagner. Shot clock down to 6 for the Bulldogs. She goes to Sheridan, far side. Camden Hilborn gets in front of Sheridan, and she's called for a blocking foul. We see her get that charge call a lot, but not this time.
Well, it was a late call. I think the lead official, he kind of didn't know what to call, so the trail official, he decided it was a block. Could have gone either way.
And there's Coach Sayers pleading her case from the bench. Bulldog basketball. Fitzgerald guarded by Denny up top. Fitzgerald drives, kicks. Lyman gets a hand on it, but it ends up in the hands of Shani Mack. She puts up a 3 and knocks it down. So just like that, a little 7-0 run from the Bulldogs. 16-10. The Saints lead with 3.5 minutes remaining here in the first quarter. Lyman is fouled by Holmes. They brought that double team on the press once again.
Well, if you dribble the ball over the half-court line and pick it up, Western's going to trap you.
Here
And
they come.
that's the mark of a team that knows how to press. You know, that's probably the best place on a basketball floor to trap is right over the half-court line, and Western did that very effectively there.
In that corner, Christine Denny gets the inbounds pass for the Saints. She gets it over to Hilborn, far side. Hilborn, cross-court pass back to Christine Denny. Denny to Wagner now. Wagner in the corner, back to Denny. The two Saints who recently reached 1,000 career points. As Denny drives, kisses it off the glass
shot.
and in for two.
That's a tough shot. That's kind of a Strider shot.
Those runners, we're seeing them more and more in the NBA. College game is catching up, and there's Christine Denny showing it off right there. 18-10, Saints lead with 3 minutes left in the first. Fitzgerald, top of the key. Back to Fitzgerald from Mack. Fitzgerald again driving on Wagner. Hilborn with the help defense knocks it loose. It's stolen. Garretts picks it up, gets it out to Hilborn in transition. Euro step off the glass and good.
That's a beautiful shot. She had to put reverse spin on that. Kind of a 1-on-2 break.
20-10, the Saints lead. 2:38 left in the first quarter. Top of the key, it's Shani Mack. Mack gets the ball screen, passes it off to, looks like Jaden Winslow there out of Libby, Montana.
From Libby, yeah. Redshirt freshman.
Here's a drive up off the glass from Paige Holmes, and off the glass, it's good. Paige Holmes never fails to impress in these games, Coach Turcotte, when Western comes to town.
She's just a good player.
20-12, the Saints lead by 8. 2:10 in the first quarter. Danny Wagner, far corner, gets it over to Lyman. Lyman now Hilborn up top. Hilborn, entry pass middle of the zone to Denny. Denny, spin move off the glass. It's no good. Rebounded by the Bulldogs. Bringing that down is Natalie Denning out of Tualatin, Oregon. Down to the other end, a kick-out pass, that time from Winslow. It's tipped out of bounds. Last touch by the Bulldogs. That's another turnover forced by the Saints there, Coach.
Yeah, and Jade Lyman, she does things out there, just little things where she gets in the passing lane, causes problems.
Can you ask for a better presence off the bench,
No.
honestly?
No, you really can't.
Sienna Swanek, top of the key. Pass it off to Maddie Garretts. Garretts up top, passes into Lyman. Lyman on the block, kicks it out. Hilborn, three from the wing, and it's good. Camden Hilborn with another three. The Saints are liking that three-point shot early on.
And a three-point assist by Jaden Lyman.
23-12, 11-point Carroll lead. 1:24 remaining in the first quarter. In the corner, it's Paige Holmes. Holmes back up top. Winslow for three. That's no good. Rebound brought down by Camden Hilborn. I tell you what, Coach, I think Carroll's guards rebound better than any other guards you'll find in this conference.
Well, they are very athletic, and they're aggressive.
Sienna Swanek up top, passed it to the wing. It's Danny Wagner near side, now to the corner. It's Hilborn. Hilborn, cross-court pass to Lyman. Lyman takes the dribble, gets it out to Hilborn again. Over to Swanek it goes. Shot clock down to 7 seconds for the Saints. Garretts goes to the hole with it, puts it up off the glass. It's no good. Rebounded by the Bulldogs. It's Natalie Denning pushing up the floor. Denning gets it to the top of the key. Shani Mack passes it off to Winslow. Winslow guarded by Garretts. On the elbow, looks inside for Fitzgerald, and there's Lyman again in the passing lane, knocking it loose, but Fitzgerald recovers the bobbled pass and puts it in for a bucket. 23-14, Saints lead. And there's no shot clock now as the clock is down to 20 seconds. As Carroll gets it across half court, Coach Sayers will call the play. Jaden Lyman with the ball. Clock down to 10 seconds now. Over to Wagner. Wagner near side. Back to Lyman. Lyman back to Wagner. Wagner dumps it off to Garretts. And the clock will expire as the ball gets knocked loose by a Western player. And that'll do it for the first quarter. Your score, Carroll College 23, Montana Western 14. We'll go ahead and step aside for 60 seconds. Second quarter action coming up next here on Rewind 94.9 and 1490 KDBM Dillon.
Only the best for a new, healthier you in 2021. J.D. Power's 2020 #1 in customer satisfaction. That's now 3 or 4 years. The new Ergo Smart Base from Pepper responds to snoring automatically. So more nutty, rocking for the couch. It's time to experience a better you. $300 in max servable cash plus a exclusive 365-night cover guarantee and your new Denver heating. We need it, man, it, one.
out at 8-1 wrestle. They got what you need. She on the statue machine. More Sanders. Grinders, polishers, pulling down third force. Heaters, over Bay. Leaders stood. Located 1400-seater. That party lot.
When you need it, then it's A1. A1 pesos.
Located 1400-seater. That party lot.
Back from the timeout, Daniel Sally here with Gary Turcott inside the Brad Schmidt Allstate Insurance broadcast booth. Bringing you Carroll basketball on Rewind 94.9, 1490 KDGM. Dylan is the Saints lead going into the second quarter, 23-14, 9:58 left here in the second quarter as the Bulldogs will take it up the floor going left to right across your radio dials. Mesa King on the elbow, kicks it out to Gopher. Gopher out of Box Elder, Montana, takes the dribble and gets it back out to King. King near side with it, passes it off to Winslow.
Let's travel.
Sheridan goes up with it inside and she knocks it down. Picked that foot up a little bit, but she got away with it, Gary. 23-16, it's a 7-point Saints lead. 9:25 left in the second quarter. Sienna Swanek passes it over to Lyman. Lyman on the drive, pulls it back out. Kicks it over to Molly McDermott near side. McDermott played some great minutes for the Saints this past weekend. She goes back to the top of the key to Lyman. Lyman, now Swanek over to McDermott in the corner. 5 seconds left on the shot clock for the Saints. Wegner to Lyman. She's got to put it up for three. It's off the rim, off the glass, off the rim again. No good rebound. Swanek, though. Sienna Swanek puts it up and knocks it in for two. 25-16. It's back to a 9-point Saints lead. 8:47 left here in the second quarter. Lily Gopher, top of the key. She has it, passed it off to Mesa King. Back to Gopher. Gopher over the top to King. King tries to pass it across the key. It's tipped by Pickens. Pickens comes up with the steal and gets it off to Lyman, who will push it up the floor for Carroll. Danny Wegner near side on the wing now. She passes to the top of the key to Jaden Lyman. Lyman, now McDermott. McDermott to Lyman again. Lyman passes it off to Swanek. Now to Danny Wagner. Wagner for three. That's off the rim. It's no good. Rebound brought down by King. Mesa King throws the long pass down the floor. Overthrows Sydney Sheridan. That's out of bounds. Another turnover by Western as the Saints will get it back. 25-16, 9-point Carroll lead. Jaden Lyman taking it up the court for Carroll. She passes it near side Swanek. Swanek guarded by Denning. Passes it back across to Lyman. Jaden Lyman guarded by Sheridan up top. Works to the far side, passes to the corner to Wegner. Wegner goes inside to Swanek. She's double teamed and pulls it back out to the top. Shot clock down to 10. Lyman goes back to Wegner. Wegner takes the dribble back to Swanek. Shot clock at 3. Swanek's got to take something off the dribble here. Step back 3 by Swanek. Off the rim, it's no good. Rebound brought down by Denning. Denning passed it off to Gopher, and Gopher will push it up the court for the Saints. Here's Sheridan on the drive. Puts it up, it's no good. She tries to save her own miss from going out of bounds and passes it right into the hands of Danny Wegner. Wegner to the other end. Goes far side to McDermott. McDermott back to Wegner. Wegner inside to Pickens. Pickens to McDermott for 3 off the rim. It's no good. Ball tips around. Rebound brought down by Mesa King. She passed it over to Gopher. Gopher takes it to the near side. Entry pass, she goes to Mesa King. King puts up a shot and is fouled. Coach Turcott, a very up and down start to the second quarter. A lot of back and forth, couple turnovers. That ball's moving.
It really is. Western has adjusted their zone. You know, Coach Woolley's had a couple of timeouts to talk, and they are playing much better in their zone defense. Carroll isn't getting the same shots that they were getting in that first quarter.
Mesa King stepping to the charity stripe. She'll take her first free throw. It's up, and she knocks it down. She'll shoot one more. She cuts it to an 8-point Saints lead. Saints have led by as many as 11 points. 6:52 left here in the second quarter. King steps to the line once more. She puts it up, and that one is good. So King steps to the line, knocks down 2 free throws. Carroll will get the ball back. Denny inbounds it to Swanek. Denny back to Swanek. Swanwick, top of the key. She passed it over to Wagner. Wagner, far side. Danny Wagner back to Camden Hilborn. Hilborn looks inside for Pickens. It's stolen, this time by Denning. Denning gets it up to Sheridan. Sheridan up the floor, puts it up off the glass, and gets the foul from Hilborn. Sydney Sheridan will have a chance to complete the three-point play. And I tell you, if there's one thing that will always stand out about Sydney Sheridan's game, she is a very, very good athlete.
Yeah. Yeah, as you can see it that there, I mean, she looks like she could be a decathlete type athlete, just her speed and her agility.
Sheridan steps to the line. Her first free throw is up and good, so she completes the three-point play. And just like that, Carroll's lead is down to 4, 25-21, 6.5 minutes left here in the second quarter. Denny gets it to Pickens. Pickens will get it across the floor and hand it off to Lyman. Lyman to set up the offense. Lyman to the wing. It's Wagner. Danny Wagner goes to Pickens on the elbow. Pickens finds a cutting Denny. Denny kicks it out to Swanwick. Swanwick on the drive to Pickens. Now to Denny. Off the glass and in for two. Nice assist there for Jamie Pickens, setting up her teammate Christine Denny for the bucket. 27-21. The Saints leads back up to 6. 6 minutes remaining here in the second quarter. Gopher up to the top of the key. It's Denning. Denning loses the ball, gets it back, passes to Sheridan, back to Denny. Denny guarded by Swanwick. Takes off the dribble, steps through, puts it up off the rim. It's no good. Rebound, out of bounds. Last touch by Denning. So the Saints will get the ball right back. Now the refs will discuss, see if they're going to change that call. And we're good. So no overturning there, and the Saints will get the ball back. 27-21, Carroll in the lead. 5:42 left here in the quarter. Denny inbounds it to Lyman, and Lyman will take it up the court for the Saints. She passes it back to Christine Denny. Denny is guarded this time by Jenny Weber, sophomore out of Chicago, Illinois. Jaden Lyman, far side, passes it to the top to Wagner. Wagner back to Denny. Denny drives, dumps it off to Pickens. Pickens goes up with it, and she is fouled. Jamie Pickens will go to the line to shoot 2.
Now, good patience that time by Carroll to get the ball inside against that zone. The zone is very, very tough on the perimeter, Daniel. They force you. They don't let you reverse the ball easily. They don't let you turn the ball from side to side, and and they're athletic. They're quick. They put a lot of ball pressure.
Jamie Pickens knocks down her first free throw. Saints lead now by 7, 28-21. She'll put up one more. Off the rim, and it's good. Jamie Pickens gets the roll, and it's an 8-point Saints lead once again. So back-to-back buckets keep the Saints in the driver's seat. 5:15 left in the first half. Paige Holmes, top of the key, looks for Gopher. Gopher on the wing, works towards the top, passes it back to Holmes. Holmes on the dribble. Passes it back to Fitzgerald. Here's a drive, kick, Gopher, back to Fitzgerald for 3, and that one goes long off the rim. Rebound brought down by Lyman. Here comes Lyman up the other end of the floor. Lyman to Wagner, far side. Denny to Swanwick. Here's Wagner, far side. Passes it up top to Lyman. Jaden Lyman back to Danny Wagner. Wagner, 6 seconds on the shot clock. That ball is stolen by Gopher. Gopher tries to get it to her teammate Holmes. It's stolen by Denny. Denny puts it back off the glass and in for 2. Heads up play there by Christine Denny.
Very big play by Christine.
31-21, the Saints lead. 4:16 left in the half. Brenly Fitzgerald on the elbow. Guarded by Denny. She hands it off to Sheridan. Sheridan kicks to the wing. Here's a drive from Fitzgerald off the glass. It's no good. Rebound brought down. Well, it's going to be brought down by Denny. Tipped, though, into the hands of Brenly Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald goes right up with it off the glass and in for 2. Cuts it back to an 8-point game. 31-23. 3:52 left in the half. Lyman, cross half court. She's trapped. She looks for Denny, and that's stolen by Paige Holmes. Holmes to the other end, off the glass.
And that's what 2. You can't do is dribble across the half court line and pick the ball up. And Western just played that perfectly.
Jaden Lyman taking up the court for the Saints. Lyman near side on the wing, guarded by Sheridan. Lyman picks up her dribble, gets to the top to Swanwick. Swanwick goes to Pickens on the elbow. Pickens rifles a pass into Denny off the glass and the foul. Christine Denny will have a chance for a 3-point play
and
at the free throw line.
That is a big time pass. That is just a big time pass.
Jamie Pickens does it all. She
Yep.
shoots, she passes, she posts up, she rebounds, you
Yeah.
name it.
I didn't realize how good a passer she was watching her play in high
I'd
school.
say arguably the most impressive part of her game,
Yeah.
honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Timeout called on the floor. It's immediate timeout, so we'll step.
Inside, range 406. It can also be a great family. Rewind 94.9.
Back from the timeout, Christine Denny will step to the line to shoot one more. Daniel Sally here in the Brad Schmidt Allstate Insurance broadcast booth with Gary Turcott. 33-25. The Saints lead the Bulldogs now 34-25 after Denny makes the free throw. 3:20 left on the clock here in the first half. Sydney Sheridan up the floor, passes it to the wing to Mack. Now back up to Holmes. Holmes top of the key, looking for Sheridan. Gets it over to her on the wing. Sheridan now Fitzgerald top of the key. Fitzgerald works near side, passes it off to Paige Holmes. Holmes, guarded by Denny. To Mack, back to Holmes. Here's Holmes on the drive. Up off the glass,
Oh, that's
and
a
it's
beautiful
good.
move. Beautiful move by Paige Holmes.
34-27, the Saints lead the Bulldogs. Lyman, cross midcourt, gets it into Pickens. Pickens to the corner, it's Wagner. Bulldogs closing out a little harder on those corner shots
Yes,
now.
they are.
Sienna Swanek, top of the key. Shot clock to 10 for the Saints. Wagner, back to Swanek. Swanek to Denny inside. Denny kicks it out. Wagner open three from the wing, and it's no good. Denny saves it. Pickens gets it, but it's a shot clock violation on the Saints, so the Bulldogs will get it right back with a chance to close in a little further on this 7-point Saints lead with 2:22 left in the half. Paige Holmes inbounds it. Sheridan to take it up the court for the Bulldogs. Sheridan, guarded by Lyman. Passes it to Fitzgerald. Now Holmes. Holmes drives, and a foul is called. I believe that will be on the floor.
Foul on Sienna Swanek, her first, team third out of bounds, Bulldogs.
Sheridan to inbound. Passes it in. Good ball movement by the
Oh,
Bulldogs.
nice
They find
backdoor.
a cutting
Beautiful
Western
backdoor
player. It's
play by
Brindley
Western.
Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
Fitzgerald gets the bucket, and the Saints lead now by 5.
And I think that was all out of that out of bounds set. I think that was a called play, and very well done by Western.
Jaden Lyman to Denny. Denny top of the key. Nice move by Pickens as she drove in, faked the pass outside, took a little Euro step through the key, and Pickens drew the foul. That's on Fitzgerald. Pickens, I believe, will be stepping to the free throw line. They calling it on the shot? They are. Pickens stepping to the line, and don't forget Carroll basketball, brought to you in part by Furniture Showroom. Why pay more? Every day is a great day to buy new home furnishings at Furniture Showroom. And John Lagerquist Realtor at Century 21 Realty, serving all of your real estate needs from homes, commercial farms, ranches, and land. Call John at 439-0650. Pickens at the line. Free throw up, and she knocks it down. So she knocks both free throws down, and the Saints lead by 7 once again, 36-29. Mesa King on the elbow. Looks to get it outside. It's tipped out by Lyman. Western picks it back up. Holmes, far side. Western swings it around. King to the outside again. Now with it is Mack. Mack to Holmes. 5 seconds on the shot clock for the Bulldogs. Holmes kicks it out. Here's a drive. Sheridan pump fakes, goes up with it off the glass, and she will draw the foul. Nice hesitation there by Sheridan to get the contact to go to the line.
Her first, team fourth. 2 free throws, Sydney Sheridan.
I'm just so impressed with the athleticism of both teams. Just these are really athletic basketball teams.
Sheridan's first free throw up. She knocks it in.
I mean, if you're not just jet quick and alert and fast, you don't have a chance out there, either side.
Sheridan on the season is 79% free throw shooting. She bolsters it there as she knocks down those 2 shots. Carroll basketball. Denny gets it up the court to Lyman. Lyman midcourt. Now Swanek. Swanek top of the key. Rolls to the far side, passes it inside to Denny. Denny on that block, goes up with a turnaround and draws the foul. And that's what Christine Denny does best. If the shot's not there, she'll get you your contact and go to the line to shoot.
Well, as Western Zone has really increased their coverage on the perimeter, Carroll is wisely going inside. That's when they're going inside, good things are happening most of the time. They just have to be patient. They have to have a plan about how they want to get it in there, because that is where that zone's a little bit vulnerable.
Denny knocks down her first. She'll shoot one more. Her second is up. Off the rim, it's no good. Rebound brought down, however, by the Bulldogs. Paige Holmes will get the pass from Denning and take it up the floor for Western. Holmes, near side. Denning back to Holmes. Holmes kicks to the corner, and it's stolen by Denny. Denny gets it up the court to Lyman. Lyman to Wagner. Now to Swanek. Swanek, corner 3, off the rim. That's no good. Out of bounds, last touch. I thought by Paige Holmes, but they're going to say Pickens touched it last. So Bulldogs will get it back. 30 seconds on the shot clock, 31.6 on the game clock. So a 1.6 second differential here on this clock as we get ready to head into the half.
They are going to go for one shot here, Daniel.
Slowing it down. It's Paige Holmes, top of the key. Holmes, guarded by Lyman. Taking your time with the dribble. Strong clap from the Saints bench as they go back to Sheridan. Sheridan gets the screen, looks to Denning on the wing. 5 seconds on the shot clock now for the Bulldogs. It's stolen by the Saints, but before that they're going to call a shot clock violation.
Oh no, they can't do that.
There's no whistle. So the shot clock blew dead, and Wagner was dribbling it up the court. I'm not sure how much time there was supposed to be, and I didn't hear a whistle. That's the issue. Oh, well, Coach Thayer says he blew his whistle. I'm sure that was pretty easy to hear. So the Saints looks like inbound the ball from the near
I don't
side.
know if Danny would have had time to get there and make the shot anyway, but it would have. I'm sure that was. The referees aren't happy with that one.
Yeah,
they'll be talking about that at
there.
halftime.
Yeah, there's a miscommunication there.
Yeah.
So they're going to put 1.6 seconds on the clock. That's enough time for the Saints to get a decent shot. Lyman will inbound. She goes long to Swanek, and it's knocked out of bounds by Holmes. So now 0.6 seconds on the clock. Second ran off there. Carroll inbound from the far sideline in front of their bench with basically no time left. Looks like they'll have Lyman throw it long. See if they can get some sort of deflection or something. Lyman calls for some motion to Pickens. Throws it in Swanek from half court at the buzzer. Off the glass and almost in, but it's not going to fall. So your score at halftime, Carroll College 37, the Montana Western Bulldogs 31. We're going to go ahead and step aside, but when we come back, we'll talk about the first half, look ahead to the second half, all that and much more. We'll get Coach Turcotte's insight and this, that, and the other here on the Carroll Halftime Show. But for now, we're going to take a break for 2 minutes as you're listening to Carroll College Basketball on Rewind 94.9, KCAP.com, and 1490 KDBM Dillon.
You are
Daniel Sally back here with Gary Turcotte inside the Brad Schmidt Allstate Insurance broadcast booth, bringing you second half action here from Helen as the Saints lead the Bulldogs 37-31. It'll be Saints basketball to start off the second half. Camden Hilborn will be taking it left to right across your radio dial. Top of the key, Hilborn looks for Swanek. It's intercepted though by Paige Holmes. Holmes running the floor. Gets to Fitzgerald out to Sheridan. Corner three from Sheridan off the rim. It's no good. Defensive rebound. Swanek pushing up the floor. Passes near side to Hilborn. Hilborn to the top to Swanek. Swanek back to Hilborn. Now Wagner. Corner three from Wagner. And that one is good. Danny Wagner knocks it down. 40-31. It's a 9-point Saints lead as the Saints get the first bucket here in the second half. These first 3 minutes, Coach Turcotte, they're important.
They are.
Holmes over the top inside to Fitzgerald. She goes up off the glass and in for two. Brindley Fitzgerald with a bucket. Back to a 7-point Carroll lead, 40-33. 9:05 left here in the third quarter.
Brindley showing her strength right there. That was not an easy shot. Ooh.
Swanek up to the other end. Gets it to Wagner in the corner. Wagner inside to Pickens. Pickens dumps it off to Denny. Denny loses possession, but it's tipped off of a Bulldog player, Paige Holmes, and it's out of bounds. Last touch by the Dogs. Saints will inbound on the baseline. It's Hilborn. She gets it out to Swanek real quick. 14 seconds on the shot clock for the Saints. Sienna Swanek loses possession. It's tipped, however, by a Bulldog player. That's Mack. Swanek gets across half court. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Wagner inside for Pickens. It's deflected and stolen by Western. The hands are active in the zone right now for the Bulldogs as they get it out to Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald drives, kicks, Sheridan three, and it's good. Sydney Sheridan with another triple. Back to a 4-point Carroll lead now, 40-36 with 8:24 left in the third quarter. To the other end, it's Sienna Swanek, far side. On the wing, she picks up her dribble, gets it out to Hilborn. Hilborn top of the key, guarded by Mack. The drive by the Saints. Denny goes up with it, gets the block off the glass and in for two. Christine Denny.
Gee, that's good strength.
When the Saints need a bucket, every time it's like, here, Christine, take it to the hole. And most of the time, it's an and one.
Now Carroll that time got the ball to Christine on the elbow, and that's a vulnerable place against that zone. If Carroll can consistently get the ball there, then Western will have to make an adjustment in their zone.
Finding the holes.
Yep.
Christine Denny, her free throw is up, and she knocks it down. 7-point Saints lead once again after a 3-point play by Carroll. 8:05 on the clock here in the third quarter. Bulldogs get it up the floor. Paige Holmes, far side. Drives, kicks it out. This time it's Mack. Mack takes it up the left side of the key, puts it off the glass, and in for two. The Bulldogs strike again. Hilborn to take it up the court for the Saints. Hilborn, got to get it across half court. She does. Sheridan cuts her off. A blocking foul is called, though. No legal guarding position on that one. 43-38.
You can just see there how Western tries to bait you into coming across that half-court line and pick it up, and Camden would not pick up her dribble there because if she had, she would have been trapped.
Saints get it inbounded. It's Christine Denny, top of the key, crosses over, gets by Sheridan. Gets it out to Wagner. Wagner three. Yes! Nothing but net. Danny Wagner from downtown. The Saints lead back up to 8, the highest of the second half. 7:25 left in the third quarter. Paige Holmes takes it across the court. Gets it to Sheridan. Now Fitzgerald on the elbow. Fitzgerald entry pass. It's stolen by Denny. Here's Denny on the move. She pulls it back. Passes it out to Swanek. Swanek to Denny. Denny on the elbow. Back to Swanek. Now Wagner. Wagner on the wing. Gets it into Denny. The ball is deflected out of bounds. Last touched off of Denny's leg, I believe. So a turnover forced again by the Bulldogs. 8-point Saints lead, 46-38. Under 7 minutes now left here in the third quarter. And it's stolen by Wagner. Max pass, trying to get it to Holmes, but Holmes knocks it loose. And now Mesa King comes up with the rebound. That ball's been bouncing around all over the floor here in the PE Center as the Bulldogs have it back. Here's Mack. Kicks it out. And now a foul, offensive foul on Mesa King as Hilborn tried to get position there and got knocked to the ground. So an offensive foul gives the ball right back to the Saints. Nice job there by Camden.
Camden is a battler. She just fights on defense.
And you combine that mindset with her athleticism, it's a recipe for success.
Well, she was trying to defend a post player there, and she fronted her, and that's 3 fouls on Mesa King.
Mm. That's big for the Saints.
Yep.
Swanek to take it up the court. He gets it up to Denny. Denny. Now Swanek, top of the key, outside to Hilborn. Hilborn passes it near side to Swanek. Hilborn again. Hilborn drives, kicks. Denny for 3. Off the rim, it's no good. Rebound, Sheridan. Sheridan taking it up the court. She passes it up to Gopher. Gopher near side. Gopher takes it in, pulls back. She'll kick it out. With it is Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald guarded by Garrett. Fitzgerald to the top of the key is Holmes. Now Gopher. Gopher on the elbow. Hands it off to Holmes again. Pump fake from Holmes. She drives by Denny. Picks up her dribble. Kicks it out. 3 on the shot clock for Sheridan. She drives, loses possession. It's tipped out of bounds, but it's a shot clock violation. So nevertheless, the Saints get it back once again. Seems like the Saints are a little extra energetic on defense.
That was
right
an
now here in
awfully
the
good
second
defensive
half.
possession. Western threw everything they had at them that time, and she couldn't shake anybody loose.
Camden Hilborn taking it up the court for the Saints. She passes it to Wagner near side. Wagner back across to Hilborn. Hilborn now to Swanek. Back to Hilborn. Swanek again to Wagner in the corner. Wagner back to Swanek, over to Hilborn on the swing. Inside they go to Denny on the elbow. Denny puts it on the ground, spin move, kicks it out. Swanek 3. Off the rim, it's no good. Rebound brought down by Garrett, but Garrett, before she can save it, steps on that line, and the Bulldogs will get it back once again. 46-38, though, still an 8-point lead for Carroll. 5:18 here in the third quarter. Sydney Sheridan taking it up the court. And don't forget, folks, after the game, we'll have the post-game show built by Builders First Source, and then we'll turn it over to the coverage of the men's game tonight, the second game of tonight's Frontier Conference doubleheader.
Oh.
Down to the other end, Fitzgerald gets it at the top of the key, takes the 3 and
that
knocks
was,
it down.
That was a deep one. That Fitzgerald is a very versatile player.
Very impressed by her. Like you said before the game, she might be a matchup problem. Coach Sayers calls a timeout as Wagner was trapped in the corner.
That's where Western does their best trap, is right on the, as you bring the ball over across the half-court line. That's where they want to trap you, right there. It's very effective.
Media timeout. We'll step aside for 60 seconds. Carroll leads 46-41. You're listening to Carroll Basketball on 1490 KDBM Dillon and Rewind 94.9 FM. Broadcast booth bringing you Carroll College basketball. 46-41, the Saints lead Western in game 1 of tonight's Frontier Conference doubleheader. 4:52 on the clock here in the third. Camden Hilborn will take it out as the break as she works it to the far side. Hilborn gets it into Garrett's on the elbow. Garrett's outside to Wagner in the corner now. Wagner, entry pass to Swanek. Swanek pump fakes, pulls it back out. Gets it to Wagner. Wagner for 3, and she knocks it down. Danny Wagner with another big triple.
A great find by Sienna Swanek. Pivoting, find the open player.
49-41, it's an 8-point Carroll lead. Holmes, top of the key. Kicks it to the wing, it's Sheridan. Sheridan back to Holmes. Holmes to the elbow. With it is Mack. Mack to Fitzgerald. Shot clock down to 7 seconds for Western. Fitzgerald steps through, puts it up off the glass. It's no good. However, on the offensive glass is Shani Mack. She puts it up and in. Coach Sayers said a point of emphasis. She doesn't want the players running down the court until the rebound's brought down. Well, that time, that's what happened, and the Bulldogs got a second chance bucket because of it.
They just out-hustle you sometimes. I mean, they really do.
49-36, or 49-43, excuse me. 6-point Carroll lead. 3:41 left in the third. It's Swanek. Swanek drives, passes it into Garrett's. Garrett's off the glass and in for two. Nice bucket from Garrett's and an even better feed from Sienna Swanek.
Yeah, that's 2 in a row. That's 2 assists in a row for Sienna.
51-43. 3:28 left in the third. Sheridan, corner three. That's no good. Looked like it tipped off of something. And Swanek pushing it up the court for the Saints. Passed it off to Wagner. Now Lyman. Lyman, corner three, and she buries it. The Saints with another hot start in the second half, shooting from deep. 11-point Carroll lead, 54-43. 3:05 left in the third. Fitzgerald posting up. Pump fakes, puts it back up again off the glass, and good
with her left hand.
Brittany Fitzgerald.
With her left hand. She can shoot threes, she can post up, she can bounce it.
Swiss Army knife for the Bulldogs,
yeah,
really. Jaden Lyman to the other end. Passed it off to Wagner. Wagner near side, back up top to Lyman. Lyman to Hilborn. Lyman keeps it, passes it back to Wagner now. Wagner, 8 seconds, drives in, puts it up off the glass with her left. It's no good. Garrett's can't get the rebound. It's pulled in by Paige Holmes. Holmes up the other end finds Shani Mack for a three from the wing off the rim. That's no good. Nice box out by Hilborn. It's rebounded by Sheridan, though. Sheridan gets it to Gopher. Gopher on the drive, fouled on the floor first by Maddie Garrett. So the Bulldogs will inbound from the sideline. But a timeout will be called first. Immediate timeout, so we'll take it as well. We'll step away for 60 seconds. The Saints lead 54-45 here on Rewind 94.9 and KDBM Dillon.
The term volatility may sound like it's bad, but it's just a way to measure changes in the price of an investment over time.
Correction, Western will inbound. They called the timeouts right after the Saints basket. Western inbounding to Holmes. That pass came from Sheridan. It's tipped out of bounds by Lyman. The Bulldogs will keep the basketball. 54-45, Saints lead by 9. 2:16 on the clock here in the third. Sheridan to inbound. She goes over the top, gets it to Gopher. Gopher passes it far side to Sheridan. Sheridan, top of the key, guarded by Hilborn. Takes it off the dribble, works to the near side, gets it to Gopher again. Gopher on the wing, back up top, Fitzgerald for three, and she knocks it down. Fitzgerald's having a big
you just
game.
can't, you got to get up on her tighter. That's 2 threes in a row. Carroll has given her too much room. She is deadly up there.
Saints get it back. They lead by 6. Little under the 2-minute mark here in the quarter. Seems like a pretty slow-paced quarter since those first couple minutes, but the foul count's only at 4 total combined. Hilborn, little crossover, gets it over to Lyman. Lyman on the wing. Passes it into Denny, back out to Wagner. Her three is up off the rim. It's no good. Rebound brought down by Holmes. Holmes to the other side, passed it over to Gopher. Gopher picked up by Pickens. She picks up her dribble. Pickens staying on her. Out pass to Sheridan. Sheridan drives on Hilborn, puts it up, and a foul is called on Hilborn. Sydney Sheridan will go to the line to shoot 2.
And that's what Sydney does. You know, she's going to attack the rim. She's not going to shoot the three much, but she's going to back attack that basket. Nice crossover move.
3 fouls on Camden Hillborn now, so that'll be something to monitor as we approach the fourth quarter. As Sheridan steps to the line, Carroll basketball on Rewind 94.9 is brought to you in part by Overland Express Restaurant. As Sheridan misses her first, serving Helena family dinners, all-American food, along with their famous hot wings since 1975. Also, Range 406, Helena's premier gun and hunting equipment store, with 8 indoor shooting ranges for your enjoyment. The bright green building on the way to the bowling alley. Second one is good from Sheridan. She splits the pair at the line. 5-point Carroll lead. Carroll is trapped, and Western turns the ball over one more time.
Yeah,
so
the press will do it. The press will do it.
Now a 5-point Carroll lead, with the Bulldogs getting the ball back immediately after the free throw by Sheridan.
And this whole thing turned around with Fitzgerald bombing 2 threes from, 22, 23 feet. They were deep.
Very impressive.
Yeah, and Carroll just a minute ago had a nice, comfortable lead, but not so much right now.
Sydney Sheridan up the court, passed it off to Holmes. Holmes inside, kicks it out. Now Gopher, top of the key. Gopher looking for a cutting Sheridan, picks up her dribble, goes inside to Fitzgerald on the block, off the glass and in for 2. Who else but Brindley Fitzgerald there
she is tough.
to cut it to a 1-score game, 54-51. Lyman gets it across the timeline, slows down, loses possession, and Coach Sayers calls a timeout. 53 seconds left in the third quarter. It's a 30-second timeout, Gary, so we're going to go ahead and keep it right here. 54-51. The Saints lead by 3, though, with 53 seconds left in the third quarter, and the press starting to get to Carroll a little bit here in the third quarter.
Yeah, the press caused the turnover there, but it's the Brindley Fitzgerald show right now. I mean, hitting threes, posting up, finishing with her left hand from the block. Right now, she's winning the battle for Western. I think that's 8 of the last 9 points that she has scored for Western.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think she has 10 in the third quarter total.
Yeah, she's tough, really tough. Carroll's going to have to figure out something with her.
Yeah, Fitzgerald, the transfer from MSU. Of course, her and Camden Hillborn both went at the same time. Camden from Helena, Brindley Fitzgerald from Dillon, and they both returned home. And now they're going toe-to-toe in the Frontier Conference. Christine Denny inbounds to Lyman. Lyman top of the key, guarded by Sheridan, passes over to Denny. Denny outside to Lyman. Lyman loses her footing, steps on the foot of Paige Holmes, and Holmes knocks the turnover loose. In transition, Holmes gets a layup. It's no good. Rebound Weber. Her putback's no good, and Jamie Pickens gets the rebound over Sheridan and will dribble it out, and Sheridan called for a blocking foul. Be their 4th foul, so 1 more from the bonus for the Bulldogs. Saints will inbound from their own backcourt.
This is a physical, aggressive Western team. They and the officials are letting him play, which is just fine. But
we were worried about that after that first foul they called at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, that was a misnomer, that one.
Denny inbounds to Swanwick. Swanwick across the court, passes to Denny. Denny with the crossover. He takes it to the far side. Denny back up to Lyman. Good ball movement by the Saints. Now Wagner. Wagner to the wing. Swanwick inside to Pickens. Pickens give and go back to Swanwick. Ball's loose. They kick it out to Lyman, though. Lyman's 3 is off the rim. No good. Denny with the hustle, though, on the offensive glass, getting the board. She takes it right back in. Puts up a runner. No good. Jamie Pickens tips it in for 2. And that'll do it for the third quarter. What a play by Pickens to get the Saints back up by 5.
Great hustle by Christine Denny to get that rebound.
That's what she does. It's the name of the game for Christine Denny. So 5-point Carroll lead. We'll take a 1-minute timeout. When we come back, we'll have fourth quarter action here. The Saints lead the Bulldogs 56-51 on Rewind 94.9 and 1490 KDBM Dillon. Sally here, joined in the Brad Schmidt Allstate Insurance broadcast booth with the Hall of Famer Coach Gary Turcotte. 56-51. The Saints lead by 5 over Western with 1 quarter remaining here at the PE Center. Western will start the quarter with the ball as it's Lily Gopher far side. Gopher playing a lot more minutes tonight with Mesa King on the bench in foul trouble. She's got 3. So does Hilborn. Fitzgerald passed it off to Gopher far side. Back outside, Fitzgerald takes the 3, and that one's no good. Like you said, it's been the Brindley Fitzgerald show, so nice break for the Saints there with a Fitzgerald miss.
That's the most open she's been, and she missed that one.
Wagner gets the rebound, gets it up the court to Lyman. Lyman, near side now, gets it over to Swanek. Swanek back to Lyman, top of the key. Lyman to Wagner on the far side. Wagner goes inside for Pickens. Pickens grabs it out of midair with one hand. She passes across the court. Denny pump fakes from the corner, drives baseline, puts it up off the glass and in for 2. Nice move there. Heads up play to pump fake as well and get in the lane by Christine Denny.
And Carroll now in the zone themselves for the first time.
58-51, the Saints lead by 7. 9-minute mark here in the 4th. Paige Holmes.
Oh, she traveled.
Gets it over. Fitzgerald, corner 3. Nice closeout by Pickens, but just a little too late. And Fitzgerald knocks down another triple and cuts it back to a 4-point Saints lead. 58-54 with 8:43 on the clock here in the ball game. Lyman passed it over to Denny. Denny drives, kicks. Swanek 3. Off the rim, it's no good. Rebounded by Gopher. Chance for the Bulldogs here to cut it back to a 1-possession ball game with 8.5 minutes left. 3-pointer up from Denning. It's no good. Rebound brought down by Swanek, and Swanek will push it up the court for the Saints. Lyman now to Wagner. Wagner, corner 3 from Swanek. That's off the rim. No good. Rebound brought down by Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald up the other end. Tries to get by Lyman. Instead gets it out to Gopher. Gopher to Denning. Top of the key. Here's a drive from Denning. Blocked by Pickens, but a little contact on the arm there will send Denning to the free throw line. And as Denning goes to the free throw line, just a reminder, Carroll College Basketball on Rewind 94.9 is brought to you in part by Mike Miller State Farm Insurance at 900 North Last Chance Gulch, featuring insurance for auto, home, property, business, health, and others. Call Mike at 442-9900. Play It Again Sports, your ski and snowboard rental headquarters. DJ Automotive, here for you and your wheels. First Community Bank, working together for you. And Rucker's Furniture, make the quality choice for your home at Rucker's Furniture. First free throw up from Denning, off the rim and no good.
One thing Western has done extremely well is a rebound out of their zone. Carroll normally is a very good offensive rebounding team. They just haven't been able to really generate but a few times offensive rebounding, and normally that's one of the weaknesses of that kind of spread zone.
Denning makes the second. Christine Denny will take it out for the Saints. She passes it over to Lyman. Lyman across half court. Can't pick up her dribble there. She splits the double team from the corner, gets it out to Hilborn. Hilborn takes a dribble, crosses over, inside gets it to Garretts. Garretts on the block, dribbles, puts it up, no good. Offensive rebound, Garretts, she goes back up with it and draws the foul. Maddie Garretts will go to line and shoot 2. Nice job there by Maddie.
I think he's going to say she wasn't shooting. That is a tough one. That's a tough call there.
I didn't expect that.
No.
So the Saints will inbound from the baseline. Yep. Correction, Maddie Garretts will not be shooting 2. Hilborn inbounding. Pass it to the corner. It's Danny Wagner. Wagner drives, floater, off the rim, no good. Rebound brought down by Garretts, tipped out of bounds, and it looked like it was knocked out of bounds by Holmes, but they'll say last touch by Maddie Garretts. Western will get it back, and they have a chance to either get within 1 here or potentially tie it with a 3-pointer. They got Brindley Fitzgerald waiting in the corner as the Saints fall back into their defense. It's Holmes out to Fitzgerald in the corner. Fitzgerald gets it up top to Denning. He's swinging around to Sheridan. Sheridan looking for Gopher. It's tipped out by Hilborn, stolen by Garretts. Here's Hilborn to the other end. Hilborn goes up with it off the glass. Transition lay-in good for Camden. Hilborn 60-55. The Saints lead again by 5. 7:07 left in the 4th. Fitzgerald to the corner. It's Gopher back to Fitzgerald. Here's Fitzgerald. She gets around Hilborn. Kicks it out, but tipped off a Carroll player before it goes out of bounds.
And Carroll's zoning, is using their zone now, and I think they've been a little more successful against Fitzgerald in that zone than they were trying to play her man-to-man.
Holmes gets it into Sheridan, back to Holmes. Holmes on the drive, picks up her dribble, out to Gopher. Gopher, guarded by Garretts. She takes her on the dribble, pump fakes. Ball's knocked loose. She kicks it out. Fitzgerald 3, contested by Denny off the back rim. No good. And Hilborn and Holmes are going for the rebound. And who's the foul going to go on? They'll say Paige Holmes there. Thought that could have gone either way with Hilborn and Holmes going for the board.
Boy, Holmes is she's a strong girl. She and Camden really going after each other.
Lyman gets the inbounds pass. Passes it back to Denny. Denny to take it up the floor for the Saints. Here's Christine. She gets it across to Hilborn. Hilborn, guarded by Sheridan. Drives in, kicks it out. Denny thinks about the three instead, puts it on the ground and gets it back to Hilborn. Hilborn, now to Denny, back over to Lyman. Lyman on the dribble. Kicks it out. It's Denny. 5 seconds on the shot clock for the Saints. Denny's got to get rid of it. She gets out to Hilborn. Hilborn into Garrett. She's got to put it up. Doesn't do that in time. And it's a shot clock violation by the Saints. Shani Mack and Mesa King checking back in for Western. As Western's back to their starting five. It's Sheridan. Holmes in the backcourt. Third guard out there is Shani Mack and Fitzgerald and Mesa King in the front court. Sheridan to Fitzgerald. Very contested three by Fitzgerald and nothing but, I mean, that was the smoothest make she's had all night. It's a 2-point game, Gary.
Yeah, and she's just almost done it all by herself.
60 to 58, the Saints in the lead. Christine Denny gets across half court. She drives in, fakes the pass, goes up with it off the glass, and will go to the line to shoot two after drawing the contact. Shot no good. Nice job by Christine there, though, to get her defender out of position with the pump fake.
Now that last shot Fitzgerald hit, you can't complain about Carroll's defense there. They were all over her.
And the ball barely even hit the net. It was so smooth. Christine Denny's first free throw is up, and she knocks it in before she takes her second. You're listening to Carroll Basketball on Rewind 94.9, brought to you in part by Rucker's Furniture. Make the quality choice for your home at Rucker's Furniture. Brad Schmidt, Allstate Insurance at 1611 Cedar and Helena. Complete Lines Insurance Agency with auto, home, renters, business, life, and others, as Denny knocks down her second. Also, A1 Rentals and Capital City Realty and Property Management. When service matters, call on the home team. And Gold Island Casino, the luck starts here. Bulldog basketball, 62 to 58. The Saints lead them by 4. 5.5 minutes on the clock here at the PE Center. Paige Holmes, entry pass to Lily Gopher on the elbow. Gopher pump fakes, tries to get around Hilborn, puts up a runner, kisses it off the glass, and knocks it in for two. 62 to 60. It's back to a 2-point game, 2-point Saints lead with 5:13 left to play. Christine Denny picks up her dribble, passes it into Lyman. Lyman gets through the lane, kicks it out. Wagner, open three from the corner, and that one is good. The Saints needed that bucket bad.
Big assist by Jaden Lyman there.
Good find. Head on a swivel, as always, by Jaden. 4:53 left, 65-60. Brindley Fitzgerald in the corner for the Bulldogs. Now Sheridan over to Mack. Mack, corner three off the rim. It's no good. That's a great look for Western. Offensive rebound brought down by Paige Holmes. Holmes to Sheridan, back to Holmes. Here's a drive from Paige Holmes. She gets out to Sheridan. Now Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald three, and she knocks it down.
Does she ever miss?
Oh, man.
Does she ever miss?
Brindley Fitzgerald
I think
is
that's
putting on
5
a clinic.
threes, I think, this half.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's 5 threes.
Because she had 3 in the second or third quarter, if I'm not mistaken, and then she just buried those back-to-back here in the fourth. 65-63, the Saints with the ball, looking to add back onto their 2-point lead. 4:11 left in the fourth quarter. It's Christine Denny, top of the key. She drives, kicks it out to Wagner. Wagner on the dribble, puts it up, off the glass, no good, but a blocking foul called as Gopher tried to get in position for the charge. Was a little late there, and Wagner will go to line to shoot two.
Good take by Carroll with the timeout right now. That's probably a smart timeout. They got to figure something out with Fitzgerald.
That'll parlay into immediate timeout, so we'll step away for 60 seconds. Saints lead by 2, 65-63. You're listening to Carroll Basketball on Rewind 94.9 and 1490 KDBM Dillon.
and more, and still your home for the Carroll College Saints. Rewind 94.9.
Back from the timeout, Daniel Sally with Gary Turcott here inside the Brad Schmidt Allstate Insurance broadcast booth, bringing you Carroll College basketball against the Montana Western Bulldogs here on Rewind 94.9, KCAP.com, and 1490 KDPM. Dylan, as Danny Wagner steps to the free throw line, she knocks down her first and will make it a 3-point Carroll lead. Looking to make it 4 here is Wagner, and she knocks it down again. Danny Wagner with a very steady hand for the Saints on the season, shooting 84.6% from the stripe. Very impressive for the senior guard out of Havre. Western ball, Gopher takes it up the key, picked up by Pickens. She goes up and under and draws the foul and knocks it down for 2. So Pickens with the foul, Gopher with the bucket, and Gopher has a chance to make this a 1-point game here with 3:48 left on the clock.
And that time, Coach Sayers came out man-to-man, and they did put Sienna Swanik on Fitzgerald, which I think is a smart move. But Gopher just made a big play.
Gopher's free throw up. Off the rim, it's no good. And Coach Sayers said in the post-game interview last week, Swanik led the team in rebounds up in Havre, had 12 in one game.
Yeah.
And Coach Sayers, I asked her about it, and she said, Sienna always says she's a big guard, and she wants Coach Sayers to call her a big guard. And she's also arguably the most athletic player on the team.
Yeah.
So that's a good matchup for Brinley Fitzgerald. Swanik's never failed on ball defense, as Denny will go to the line because that's the 5th team foul on Western.
There you go.
Will enter the bonus. Denny's first free throw is up, and nothing but net. She knocks it down. She'll shoot one more. Christine Denny on the season shooting 77% from the free throw line. Denny gets it back, looks at the rim, puts up her second, and buries it. So quick 2 for Denny, and that's a 4-point Saints lead, once again. And that's a nice swing there for the Saints. A missed free throw by Western, then 2 made on the other end. Paige Holmes, top of the key. Gets it near side to Sheridan. Sheridan to Fitzgerald, now Gopher. Gopher on the elbow, pump fakes. Drives, hands it out to Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald takes it in, puts it up off the glass, and who else but Brinley Fitzgerald to get the foul and knock it in for 2. She'll shoot a free throw and look to make it a 1-point game as the Bulldogs draw contact once again.
I'd like to know what it was that Montana State saw that decided they didn't want to give her a scholarship.
Yeah, I don't know what the story is there with her.
She could play for the Bobcats, I promise you.
And that free throw is good, yeah, especially, she could play at any level the way she's playing tonight.
Yeah.
69-68, and yeah, I don't know what her backstory is there at Montana State, but made the trek back home to Dillon, and I'm sure Coach Woolley's happy she made that decision. Christine Denny to inbound. Sienna Swanik getting it. Shot clock down to 25. Saints got just a couple seconds to get it across the timeline. Denny finally gets it over. She passes it far side to Hilborn. Hilborn on the drive back to Denny. Now Swanik. Swanik thinks about it from the wing, pulls back. Gets it up top to Hilborn. Hilborn picks up her dribble, back to Swanik inside. They find Denny. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Denny drives off the glass and good for 2.
Big time play by Christine.
When you need a bucket,
There's
it's always
Christine.
Christine. She just drives, puts her head down, and goes to the rack. 3-point Saints lead, 71-68. Gopher near side to Sheridan. Sheridan back to Gopher. Gopher guarded by Garrett's up top. She passes it up top. 3-pointer. And that one is good from Shani Mack from the top of the key. And don't look now, folks, but we got a tie ball game here with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in the ball game. 71-71, and don't forget the Saints did just go to overtime on Sunday. I'm sure they're hoping to try and win this thing in regulation here. First, Garrett's with the and 1.
And a big-time feed by Christine. Christine beat the press, got across, and found Maddie for the and 1.
Christine playing big minutes for the Saints down the stretch here. She gets it into Garrett's on the block. Garrett's gets the contact, lets go, and gets the bucket. Garrett's will step to the line, looking to make it a 3-point Carroll lead. 2:19 on the clock. Her free throw's up, and she knocks it down. 74-71. Saints in the driver's seat. 2:15 left now. Sheridan taking it up the court. Guarded by Hilborn at the top. Sheridan to the wing, it's Holmes. Holmes now up top to Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald to the wing, Sheridan. Sheridan gets the pick. Picks up her dribble, though. shot clock at 5. Sheridan outside to Fitzgerald again. Here's Fitzgerald. It's stripped by Hilborn. Hilborn gets the steal. Hilborn in transition, excuse me. Underneath, she gets it to Denny. Christine Denny gets the
she
bucket.
didn't call traveling.
But they'll call a travel on Christine Denny. And she had the shot knocked down off the glass, too.
That was a big call.
It's funny, I heard the whistle, and I got this rail in front of me. It's kind of tough to see.
Yeah, we couldn't see from here.
And so I heard the whistle. I was like, oh, that's an and one for Christine. No, it's a traveling violation. Western with the ball back. They trail by 3. A minute and a half on the clock now. It's Sydney Sheridan, and a traveling violation called.
Now, they have gone all game without calling traveling. I thought there have been a lot of places where they did travel, and now at crunch time they got 2 in a row.
Yeah. Camden Hilborn to inbound from the far sideline. She gets into Wagner. Saints lead by 3. I imagine we'll see something good here. As Swanek gets it across the timeline, passes up top. It's Hilborn now. Hilborn, top of the key, puts it on the ground, gets it out to Swanek. Now Wagner. Wagner, corner 3. Off the rim, it's no good. Good hustle by Garretts to get the board. Garretts gets it out to Wagner, and now the Saints will take their time with a fresh 20 seconds on the shot clock. Wagner, back to Hilborn, top of the key. Shot clock down to 10. Swanek now far side, gets it to Hilborn. Hilborn steps up, back to Swanek. Swanek 3 from the wing. Off the rim, it's no good. Rebound brought down. Last touch out of bounds by the Bulldogs as Garretts almost got it. Looked like Paige Holmes knocked it loose but stepped out of bounds.
Great weak side rebounding by Maddie Garretts. She's as good at it as we've had around here in a long time.
Hilborn to inbound from the baseline. Fresh 20 seconds on the shot clock for the Saints. If there's one thing that comes from this possession, they're wasting a lot of clock. Hilborn takes it off the dribble and is fouled by, excuse me, not Natalie Denning, that's Shani Mack.
And that was 2 offensive rebounds that Maddie Garretts kept alive on the weak side to keep the possession in Carroll's hands. Those were big.
I mean, that makes a difference about 30, 35 seconds.
Yep.
As Hilborn makes her first free throw and makes it a 2-possession game, 4-point lead for the Saints. But big minutes down the stretch of this ball game by Maddie Garretts. Second one up, and Hilborn knocks it down again. Bulldog basketball. Holmes, top of the key, kicks it out. It's Fitzgerald now, guarded by Swanek. Fitzgerald takes her into the post, kicks it out to Holmes. Holmes fumbles the ball, puts it in on the ground. With it is Fitzgerald, and Fitzgerald gets the bucket. And I feel like, I mean, is that not a travel on Holmes at the top of the key?
Yeah, I think they're going to have a clinic on traveling looking at this videotape.
Inbounding the ball to Hilborn is Denny. Hilborn gets it across the court, and Gopher tries to get in front for a charge once again, called blocking foul on Gopher. So let me set up the situation here. Going a little fast. 76-73, Carroll in the lead by 3 points. 25 seconds left in the ball game. At the free throw line is Camden Hilborn. She'll shoot 2 after the blocking foul by Lily Gopher. Hilborn's first free throw off the back rim, no good. And that miss hurts the Saints here with 25 seconds on the clock. She can knock down the second one, be huge. Make it a 2-score game.
It is a big one.
Second free throw from Hilborn. And she gets the roll. Timeout called by Coach Woolley.
And he can advance to half court now, Daniel.
We'll go ahead and keep it right here. 77-73. It's a 4-point Carroll lead. 25 seconds on the clock. So if you're Coach Woolley here, I mean, with the way Carroll's free throws have wavered over the last few weeks, I'm sure they know that. Do you try and get a 3, or do you immediately look for the easiest bucket, regardless of where it's at on the court?
I kind of think he's going to try to draw something up for Fitzgerald, and if something for a 3 for her, but if not, then have her get right straight to the rim. I just think the ball's got to go to her. And she's been just absolutely spectacular here this second half.
Time frame wise, you're probably trying to get a shot up within, what, 7 or 8 seconds?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Got to have time to foul if it doesn't go your way. All right, back from the timeout. Both teams taking the floor. 25.2 seconds on the clock. Shani Mack inbounding from the far sideline for the Bulldogs. She gets it into Holmes. Holmes drives right away with it up off the glass and good. 4 seconds run off the clock, and Holmes gets the bucket for 2. It's 77-75. Danny's trapped in the corner and tries to get out of the double team, but a little bump there on the hip and a foul called on Sydney Sheridan. That's 4 on Sheridan. 16 seconds left now, and Denny with 2 big free throws coming up.
Christine Denny, 2 free throws.
She'll step up. with a chance to make it a two-score game once again for the Saints. Like I mentioned, Holmes went to the lane, got the 2. They decided to go for the quick bucket. First free throw from Denny. She knocks it down. That's a big one there. See the first one go in, parlay it into another one. It's Denny at the stripe. Second free throw is knocked down. Cold as ice there by Christine Denny to get those 2 free throws. And now Weston's got to make a decision here as they trail by 4. 15 seconds. Holmes takes it across the timeline. She drives on Denny and a traveling violation.
Finally.
Or did they call a double dribble? I thought I saw the ref do a double dribble motion. Regardless, some sort of violation there on the Bulldogs, and the Saints will get the ball back. Wagner gets the inbound in the corner. Holmes fouls her, and now Danny Wagner with 9 seconds left as the Saints lead by 4. She can maybe not completely ice the game, but in theory, pretty much ice the game.
Yeah, these would be big.
You know, we've seen stranger things happen. We remember last year when the Carroll men were playing against Tech here, and I think we trailed by 6 or 7 with like 45 seconds left and ended up sending it to overtime. Wagner's first free throw up and good. Of course, that's the infamous Dane Warp fouled at the buzzer, step up to the line, knock down 3 free throws.
That was amazing.
Free throw up from Wagner. She knocks down both.
That's very clutch free throw shooting by the Saints. I think they missed 1 this quarter.
Yeah. Hilborn knocked down 2, then Hilborn split 1 of 2, then 2 from Christine, and now 2 from Danny.
Yeah, those are big free throws. And you're going to beat a team that's as good as Western and's got a player that hot as Fitzgerald. And when Coach Sayers put Sienna Swanik on Fitzgerald, she didn't stop her, but she slowed her down. And she wasn't able to get her threes off anymore and made her go to the rim. At least it's only counting 2, but you know, what an amazing performance by Fitzgerald here the second half here at the Carroll PE Center.
By the way, 81-75 Carroll 6-point lead. A 30-second timeout was just called by Coach Sayers. If you're wondering why we weren't describing any action, it's because both teams are at the bench right now discussing what they're going to do here in the final 9 seconds. Shani Mack will inbound from the far sideline again. I imagine we might see that same play for Paige Holmes, and here it is. She gets the top of the key, guarded by Denny. Holmes switched on to Garrett's off the pick, gets it to Gopher. Gopher pump fakes, drives on Christine, puts it up off the glass, no good. Rebound brought down by Holmes, saved from out of bounds, but the clock runs out on the Bulldogs. Your final score here in Helena from the PE Center. The Saints beat the Bulldogs 81-75, and they will advance to 6-1 in Frontier Conference action. And Coach Turcotte, that's a hard-fought victory for our Saints.
Really good basketball game. Really, really entertaining basketball. And, you know, this COVID isn't going to last forever.
I hope you're right.
It'd be great when the fans can get to see this team play in person. And Western, they have nothing to be ashamed of. That was a terrific effort. But in the end, Carroll just a little bit tougher. Just a lot of girls making big plays. I would say especially at crunch time, you got to give a lot of credit to Christine Denny and Maddie Garrett's.
Danny Wagner,
Camden
Hilborn.
Camden,
I mean, a team effort really down
It really was, yeah.
All right, well, we're going to go ahead and take a break as the Saints win 81-75. We're going to step aside for 3 minutes this time, but when we come back, we'll have the post-game show built by Builders First Source. We'll talk to Coach Sayers, all that and much more coming up on Rewind 94.9 and 1490 KDBM Dillon.
Welcome all legislators to the capital city. After a long day of meeting, kick back and relax over a great